2025 was a successful year, man. I'm not gonna bash it down over one championship or one competition. It was a really good year. Started off well, winning a medal at indoors, and just the winning couple races on the Diamond League circuit. Finished off the year third in the world. So for me, it was a successful year. Just one competition didn't go well, and I'm not gonna just bash myself off of that. I'm just happy with it and looking forward to building up for next year and the next coming years as well.
Yeah. If you look at the world champs as well, is there a concern from you guys as athletes? Because obviously your season starts much earlier as South Africans. That by the time you guys get to world champs, we've already peaked the number of times during the season. Is there a concern from you guys as athletes that maybe our seasons should start a little bit later to accommodate you guys obviously going to diamond leagues and then the world champs?
The concern has always been there, man. Since I started athletics, the concern has been there. But it's seasonal, That's our athletic season. That's when the summer starts. It's when the schools are running. That's when athletics South Africa's school season is. And that's how we have to do it. It's just figuring out how to get your season right. And just making sure that you are peaking at the right times, racing at the right times, and you're stretching your season enough to get to September. Now, seasons before used to finish in August. Now they moved it a whole month later, So that's where the coaches need to start getting smart and saying, okay, if my athlete is going to go to Europe, if my athlete is going to race on the circuits, what do I need to do to allow him to only peak later and start his season later, Not just they may have the main focus as SA champs. As much as it is important, but that's April. The major championship and the major of the year is in September. So having a peak in April, then expecting to have a peak in June and expect to have another peak in September becomes very difficult, and it's a struggle, but it's just being on the wrong side of the world.
I remember speaking to you just before you started the season about to go and do the indoors, right? And you said there's a different strategy that you guys are trying out. You had a good season, having started with that strategy. Even though you're still happy with the way that you guys approach the season, what would you like to maybe tweak with that regime that you had this season?
I'm still happy with the season, man. We had to work on certain things, and we ticked those things off, So for me, what we did in the beginning of the year, it worked, So I'm happy with that. That was the whole goal of the season, to make sure that part of my race is better and stronger, And I showed that and I proved that over in the Diamond League, And it just didn't come out at the World Champs. But yeah, man, I think we were happy. We just have to figure out the long season, and just figure out how to run in the long season. I just know that I'm just trusting in coach and just letting him, take the lead in this.
And if you could go back to that World Champs, do you think it's a matter of you maybe one or two things that you would probably want to go and do differently, or was it a matter of the fields just being quicker on the day and then the other guys did their task and that's how the result unfolded basically?
I just think that the way the season was structured this year and how we took it, was the different thing. It having all the 100-meter races on the Diamond League circuit in the beginning of the year didn't help. Having a 6-week gap of no racing didn't help, before champs. So those are the things that play a part in you peaking in the right time, you peaking at the right time, and that just makes it a little bit difficult,
Can you just obviously on this explosion of sprinters that are actually competing on the global stage, is the athletics, do you think it's in the best place, and can it be better?
Yes, athletics is very healthy right now. Like it's like the healthiest I've seen it in a very long time, and that for me gives me confidence in the longevity of where athletics is going. So can you? Sorry, man. Sorry, what was I saying?
Yeah, athletics in total place.
Yeah, man. I think athletics is in a very healthy space right now. In South Africa, we have so many juniors that are running well. We have so many athletes that are showing up on the international side. This year, internationally at World Championships, indoors, World Relays, World Championships, we had so many South African athletes not just getting knocked out in first round, coming through to second, coming through to semifinals, and then from semifinals going to finals. First time having 2 South Africans in a 100-meter final. We had a medal from the 4x4. We had us, the 4x1 guys, that had our slip up, but we were competitors, and prudence is there. There's so many athletes, and it's not just in the sprinting, it's not just in the distance, it's widespread, and it's just exciting, man. For me, it's just exciting to see the hunger from the younger kids, and that they are able to see that, okay, they actually want to do this thing, they actually want to be a part of this thing, and they want to do, this thing professionally. And so it leaves us in a very healthy space, and I just hope that they have the mindsets to keep on going, and the heads to just make sure that they are doing everything right.
And the last, the last, I said, coming off, big one for you next year.
Yeah, man, coming out the next year, big one again. I'm looking forward to it. We are gearing up for that. It might seem like an off year next year for a lot of us, but Commonwealth Games is there. It's still a competition. It's still a championship that we aim to win, and we aim to go there and just be at our best.
I think for me, just last, what does Akani then do in the gap in the off season, especially when you do have that Commonwealth goal in your mind? How do you keep yourself in shape, motivated, and to make sure that when you arrive at a big tournament that you fight? Because when it comes to your name, there's always pressure. South Africans are looking at what you can do on that stage. How do you keep yourself in tip-top shape, and how do you prepare for all of these things while in the off season?
I think it's just setting a goal and just sticking to it. Like Coach and I have spoken about what the plans for next season are and what our goals for the next season are, and it's just sticking to that goal. It's an off year. Yes, we're going to take it as an off year, but with the mindset of having Com Games as a goal. But we need the body to rest. It's been 5 years back to back having a championship. We need the body to rest. We need the mind to rest, but we also are mindful of Commonwealth Games coming up and wanting to be at our best there, but it's also just making sure we are balancing my health as well, and just making sure that my longevity in the game stays, and I want to be there in 28, and I want to be in LA, and I still want to be competitive in 28 and still aiming for a medal.
I'm taking a chance on this, and have you spoken to Richardson about the change into Ireland? Do you know anything about that? Because it's just been reports. And what would your thoughts be? Because we've shared the track with him, we've been in the South African tracks with him. What has unfolded in those conversations if you have spoken about it? What do you think about it as well?
I haven't spoken to Benji about that, man, but it's his choice. If he has allegiances with Ireland and he feels like that's a better space for him for his career, then I support it, man. It's an athlete's career. I can't not support what you want to do for your career, and I wish him well there. And yeah, I just know that he's a hungry kid, man. He wants to run fast, he wants to do well for himself, and he wants his career to improve. And if that's the path that he wants to take, then 100%.
Thanks for answering that.
Awesome.